Hi, my name is Louise and my brand is called Fuudhoods, and I also have the luxury end of that, which is Fuudlux, and I also have a smaller little brand which I do at festivals called Trilla. Basically, the whole company sort of came by accident, and I just had these hoods that were selling really well, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do something with this. So we were sitting in a pub one day and I was like, well, what can I call it? And after a few beers and a few friends, we came up with the name Fuud is in furry hood. Fuud. Simple as that. I studied fine arts. I've always sort of been interested in fashion, but I didn't want to study it because I found it too bitchy, and it's quite a hard sort of course to go on.
Yeah.
So I made some fancy dress for a festival 3 years ago, which was a dress with an animal dress with a hood on it.
Yeah.
And then after a number of sort of little festivals and little slots that I did, a lot of people started asking just for the hood, not the dress. And then they just started selling loads, and I was like, well, I might as well take this opportunity and see how far I can go. I had a friend who did textiles as well, and there were studio spaces here going, and I was like, let's just I've always been that kind of person where fine arts are very, being creative is a very hard industry to get into. It's very hard to make money out of it.
Yeah.
So I've always been very on the ball with sort of looking out for an opportunity to do something concrete.
Yeah.
And as soon as these started going, I was like, well, I'm just going to run with this. And so we got a studio, then we did a competition for a business idea in my university. We won $2.5 grand and started that, and bought a van and started doing festivals. So, well, I think at the end of the day, fashion is an identity, and I think it's sort of something that you really make your own. And so it's sort of, at the end of the day, it will make your music stand out. If you've got, prime example, Lady Gaga, she was almost recognised for her fashion before her music really followed through. So in a sense, you need to create your own identity as much with your sound as with your look.
And that?
Well, I think a lot of people, a lot of artists that are coming through now, I'm just going to go for the sort of classics like Jessie J. A lot of them, they do have a very sort of, distinguishable style to start off with.
Yeah.
But I suppose if it wasn't your forte, you just go to a stylist that you kind of like their stuff. I'd just suggest looking at sort of the kind of clothes that you like, and maybe ask your friends, or probably if you're already in the industry, you probably have a stylist who can help you, and you can just work out something that's
What does a typical day of yours involve?
Get to the studio for around 10, and do a little bit of emailing, and then basically crack on and make as much stuff as I possibly can in a day. Because I'm sort of the opposite to Dion. I make a lot of stuff all the time, so I'm literally I usually have a couple of interns in, so it's just literally a little sweatshop upstairs.
How many years have you been doing this?
2.5 years now.
What advice would you give to someone who's got a creative idea and they're not really sure where to take it?
Well, for starters, there's a lot of places like Princess Trust, an absolute godsend. They'll go through your idea with you, make you write a business plan. They're really good for helping you out. Friends and family, amazing support network. Test marketing is really, really crucial, because there's a lot of good ideas out there, but sometimes the whole package doesn't work. You may be too expensive to make, therefore you can't sell it at the right price. So just sort of, do a lot of test marketing, and then just be prepared to go for it. If I could go back now, I would, starting off, I'd suggest find yourself a salesman, like a friend who's sort of good at that. Because a lot of designers, creatives, musicians, it's really hard to be in the creative frame of mind and to be in the business, get yourself out there, and you have to be really sort of on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing events, sort of doing freebies with your friends, sending stuff to artists, just doing as much as you can on a free level is really good. But yeah, it is hard, but it is very cool. And as I said, we were lucky. We won the money from the competition. We had a loan from Princess Trust. We launched straight into festivals, so immediately we were turning over the income. Like we weren't in profit, but we're getting the revenue in.
Yeah.
So like market stalls, festivals, things like that, where it's just like get the turnover in. That's really good. Parents, got quite a few loans with the parents. I've got a boutique on ASOS Marketplace called Fuudhoods. I've got a website called www.fuudhoods.com.
And how's that spelled?
Fuudhoods.